Thank you all so much for joining today's webinar. We recognize that this is a really busy time for all, and we're really thankful that you could be here with us today to learn more about what's new with Clever. We're so proud of the vast network of Clever schools all across the country that partner with us today. So wherever you're watching from, welcome. We're looking forward to hearing your questions from our live QA that will take place on 2/12 at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So please tune in if you can make it. If you're into social media like me and you see something that's exciting throughout this webinar, please take a screenshot and share it with your community by tweeting at Clever with the hashtag #ReadyWithClever. And please feel free to share this recorded webinar with anyone at your district that is interested and would like to see. So let's kick it off with some introductions. My name is Salima and I'm a district success manager here at Clever. Before coming to Clever, I actually spent 4 years teaching K-2 in Baltimore City Public Schools and 2 years working as the Dean of Students at an elementary school in Manhattan. Here at Clever, I have the great privilege of working with some of the largest school districts, primarily in the Southeast. Join me in welcoming one of our product managers, Spencer Caton.
Thank you, Zalima. Hi, everybody. My name is Spencer. I'm a product manager here at Clever. I am a little bit bummed, to be honest, that I have to introduce myself after Zalima, since I have nowhere near the teaching acumen that she does. But I did teach piano lessons for several years in the late aughts, so I've got that going for me, which is nice. I've been a Cleverite for about 4.5 years now, and over that time, I've had the opportunity to work on the customer solutions team as an application success manager and across a couple different products as a PM. I am so excited to share with y'all all the great new features we're cooking up for this next back to school.
Thank you, Spencer. So like I mentioned earlier, I'm really grateful that you could be with us today, given the unexpected challenges many of you are facing as we navigate remote, hybrid, and in-person learning for the second semester of this school year. It's really inspiring to be joined today by this community, which is growing so rapidly. This community also frequently brought smiles to our faces, just like this teacher from Broward County singing about Clever in a video for her class. It is totally fantastic, and we'll see if we can share that link with you all. But as you begin your planning for 2021 back to school, we want you to know that Clever is here with you every step of the way. In today's webinar, we'll announce the new features in Clever as part of our biggest product launch for this school year. I'm really proud of all the work our team has done, and I cannot wait to share the details with you all. One of the main things we want you to take away from this is that Clever is here to help. We wanted to start off with a quick overview of Clever to remind you of how we support digital learning wherever it happens. Our rostering, single sign-on, and portal help to simplify student access to EdTech and dramatically increase engagement with learning. Along the way, we added other features to help support district leaders and the education community at large. We focused on analytics and experience for tech coaches, also known as school tech leads, and training for your entire staff. If you'd like, when you have the chance, when we have our Q&A on February 12th, we would love to hear from you what your favorite tools on Clever are. Today, we're going to focus on new features, but if you see something on this list that you're not using yet, please dive into your dashboard or our help center to get started. As a reminder, my favorite reminder to share, every tool within Clever is free. So this year we have grown together and a lot. And as a result, we saw so much learning and engagement happening on our platform. 65% of all schools in the United States are using Clever. And with 50% of US students logging in, Clever has powered 4.2 billion learning sessions this school year. But the pandemic definitely created an inflection point in digital learning, and there have been many challenges for every educator, but districts and educators have done an incredible job innovating and experimenting to support their students, including getting everyone access to digital learning resources, using data to better understand engagement, building closer than ever partnerships with parents and guardians, and more than ever, meeting each student where they are to provide the personalized support they need to be successful. With that in mind, we realized that there are a few more ways that we could help simplify digital learning. We realized that we can help reduce the number of systems students and teachers must jump between to learn. We realized that we can help make communication seamless and easy. And most importantly, we realized that we truly can help streamline the entire digital learning day. And this is what we intend to deliver: digital learning simplified, one friendly place for resources, insights, and now communication. And now it's time to hear directly from our product manager bringing messaging to life, Spencer Caton.
Thank you again, Zalima. I am so excited that Clever is able to offer a solution to help solve all of these challenges. Before we dive into what's coming this year, I want to start with a quick refresher though. In 2020, we released a simple version of messaging to help boost student engagement and close communication gaps. We could not believe how quickly teachers, students, and families caught on. In fact, since we launched this back to school, over 15 million messages have been sent. But it wasn't just the big numbers that surprised us. We were blown away by the stories too. We heard from many educators that communication tools and messaging specifically had an incredible impact on student learning. We heard that messaging was helping facilitate classroom conversations with students, whether that meant resolving technical issues or providing faster teacher feedback. We also heard that it sparked moments of joy. In a time when building relationships is harder than ever, messaging was helping students and teachers share meaningful moments. And finally, we heard how messaging has helped bring together teachers and families, which, as we know, is absolutely vital in driving great learning outcomes. Between all these powerful stories and metrics, we really felt like we'd hit on something with messaging. And that's why we're so excited to make it even better. So, without further ado, I am proud to introduce the next generation of Clever Messaging, bringing all your teachers, students, and parents together in the same platform they already know and love. All right, enough of the hype. Let's dig into some of these new features. Starting off, we're going to be adding 2 new highly requested features to messaging: announcements and attachments. Announcements will allow teachers to contact many students and families at once, saving them tons of time and energy. No longer will teachers have to copy and paste the same message to all of their 20, 30, 40 or more students when they want to get the word out. And attachments will let teachers and families attach photos and files to messages. It'll be a great way for teachers to send student work to families, or for families to return that signed permission slip. And yes, it'll also be a great way for teachers to share their Bitmojis. We're hopeful that these improvements will continue to help parents like Bethia feel connected to their child's learning. But we know there's more we can do to help facilitate this connection. That's why we're creating messaging features focused on families. We'll start by building mobile apps for families so that they can communicate with teachers wherever they go without having to worry about missing a message. We're also empowering teachers to invite families to Clever, which means district leaders like you all don't have to worry about managing messy contact data or tracking down parent invitations. Last, but certainly not least, we are making it easy for families to interact with teachers on messaging, no matter what language they speak. We truly believe that technology can be a powerful lever to improve educational outcomes. We wouldn't be here if we didn't. And as we expand to make Clever available in the home, we want to make sure that that powerful lever is accessible by everyone. As many of you know, our parent portal is already available in multiple languages, and starting this back to school, messages will be instantly translated into parents' home language as well. Of course, all of these great new messaging features will be built into the Clever that you already know and love. That means they're right in the first sight teachers and students see every morning, so they can be confident they'll reach one another, reduce task switching, and easily find other notifications. It also means they'll be on a platform that's safe and secure. As with all our products, Clever Messaging adheres to extremely high security and safety standards to continue to earn your trust. And lastly, it means they'll be using a platform that's completely ready to go on day one, with easy implementation, free training via Clever Academy, and our outstanding success and solutions teams ready to help. And I'm not just saying that last part as a proud alum of our success and solutions teams, though I am. These teams truly set the standard for customer service in EdTech. Setting aside new features and the Clever platform for a second, I want to bring it back to people. And this quote from Megan, a teacher at Burnham Parish, is such a great encapsulation of why we are so excited about Clever messaging. She says, it comes back to how seamless it is. If you need to have a conversation with a student, it's just there. We know the students are on Clever, so the message will get to them. Man, I love that quote so much. I really feel like I should get it printed out so I can put it on my fridge or show it to my mom or something. Anyway, as you can probably tell, we have thought a lot about how to make messaging amazing this year. And I know at this point you might be thinking to yourself, Spencer, we get it. Clever messaging is great. Clearly, you're very excited about it. You've probably said the word excited 20 times already. But what about all the other great stuff that Clever does? Well, fear not. Even though we are really excited about Clever messaging, we're also focused on making everything else about Clever even better too. That starts with new and improved partnerships. This year, we have expanded our partnership with McGraw-Hill, a 10-year agreement that will make accessing curriculum even easier for the thousands of schools that work with them. We also expanded partnerships with IXL Learning, Discovery Education, Khan Academy, NWEA, and many more. We are really looking forward to seeing these partnerships grow, but more importantly, we can't wait to see how they help save technology teams time and help students hit the ground running with their ed tech. We're also continuing to help teachers build digital classrooms they love with one place for every resource their classes need. That includes customizable teacher pages, powerful teacher tools, and easy, fun logins via Clever Badges. And of course, we have not forgotten about the fan favorite from last year's webinar, analytics. We're going to keep bringing you simple, easy to access analytics for your entire staff, including EdTech analytics and exportable participation reports for your district leaders and class analytics for teachers. Finally, all of this remains fast, easy, and free to implement. You can set up your portal in less than a day. You can train school staff online at any pace for free, and you get access to world-class customer support. With all of this, plus messaging, Clever truly is your school's digital learning platform. And all of this comes back to our core motivation, which is to simplify digital learning. We'll deliver on a digital learning platform that creates one friendly place for resources, communications, and insights. And with that, I yield the rest of my time to Zalima so we can hear from one of our customers about how they use Clever.
Thank you, Spencer. I do think that you should print that quote out and hang it up on your refrigerator, share that with your mother. She would be very proud. So I am extremely honored that today we are joined by Sylvia Quigley, EdTech Integration Specialist at Tucson Unified School District. Sylvia is a lifelong educator and is passionate about technology and education. She actually wears many hats at Tucson, including training for all of the Clever districts, or excuse me, for all of the schools that use Clever at her district. And she is truly an inspiration. We're thrilled to have her here with us today. We'll do a quick QA to hear about how she envisions these exciting changes impacting teachers and students in her district. So welcome, Sylvia. Before we kick off our conversation, could you please just introduce yourself and share a little bit about Tucson Unified?
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. I'm honored to be here at this Clever webinar and representing the Tucson Unified School District. Tucson Unified School District is a third largest school district in Arizona, the largest in Southern Arizona. We have 90 schools that cover about 230 square miles, so we're quite spread out. 42,000 students supported by 2,600 teachers, and we have over 8,000 employees in our district in total. So it's quite a large district. I serve, as you said, I'm an educational technology integration specialist, but also the project manager for Clever training district-wide. So I amongst the other hats I wear, those are two of my big ones. So I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you again so much for joining us. So let's get started. Can you speak to how you use Clever and how you envision you'll use Clever with or without remote learning in 2021?
Absolutely. We have been 100% remote learning since March of last year, with the exception of our high-risk students who can come to the campuses. We do not yet have a plan to return to any kind of hybrid model. So Clever has become a phenomenal tool and an essential tool for our teaching in this environment. We have 4 distinct areas we kind of use Clever. All 2,500 of our teachers use Clever to some degree for posting their Zoom meeting links to applications, posting materials such as books or videos that they want the students to use in their classes. They have the district has set up links for apps that we use, intervention apps such as IXL, Waterford, Imagine Learning. So they're right there for everybody to use. An additional resources that the teachers want to add. The analytics is a great monitoring and verification tool that the teachers become very excited about. And the Clever Library, especially being able to sort by the pricing, has helped our teachers tremendously to kind of narrow down what they can find to use to augment their learning. Messaging has become probably the favorite feature because of the easy way to communicate with their students. And even down to the kindergarten and first grade level, where the students can very easily message their teacher with a question, including in the asynchronous time, because they have Clever open, they may be doing their asynchronous work in one of the intervention tools or the applications, and they'll say, I'm really stuck, I can't log into Waterford, I need help, and the teacher's right there. Flip of that is the teacher can say, hey, Sylvia, I noticed you haven't accessed Waterford in 2 days, and we are supposed to do that every day. So it's been a phenomenal tool. The second area is site administrators. We gave them site tech lead access. That's about 180 administrators we have. They use it for announcements, including principals who have discovered that that is a fast, easy way to reach everybody, students, staff, and teachers, and they're using this for their daily announcements. Also for their impersonation mode that is used for teacher observations, since it's become such a heavily used and relied upon tool in remote learning. And we'd conducted specific training sessions for those. We made custom teacher roles for all our XEd resource teachers so they could connect with their students and maintain that engagement for their specific needs. And lastly, we created co-teacher accounts for our 160 student teachers we have in this spring semester. And that was a fascinating role because we were able to explain the difference between what a co-teacher account is, how that works with a mentor teacher and a student teacher, and we created specific training thus for that. As far as remote versus non-remote, we've been using Clever for about 1.5 years now, and starting last March, of course, the use just skyrocketed to levels because everybody realized this is how I can easily connect to my students in a remote learning environment. But going forward, I think it's going to maintain its fondness and a key access to apps and messaging for your students, the SSO and the security provided to be SIPA and the safety requirements needed by a K-12 district. We found Clever to be a highly reliable system with very, very few glitches. When those glitches come up, to echo what Spencer said, an extremely responsive support team that addresses issues, looks for clarity. And additional to them solving those, there's always a follow-up to make sure, is it still okay? Did we really resolve it? Is everything work? And that's something that I find with all the systems that I've worked with, that's unique, that they are very much into the exceptional customer service aspect.
Yeah, and we are all at Clever also very proud of our amazing customer support team. So it's really great to hear that they've been so helpful to you this year. It's also totally incredible to hear how wide the reach of Clever is in your district. So that is really impressive that you've been able to champion Clever at your district and get everyone on the same page, since we know that change management can be very, very tricky, especially at a time like this. So how is everything that you're doing working better than what you were doing before you started working with Clever?
I think the big thing is the ease of access, having that single sign-on system, regardless of whether they're a kindergartner or a high school student, having that ease of access. I log in here and everything. We are an Office 365 district primarily, so we even have a link to Office 365. So almost everything a student would need on a regular basis is right there. You log into Clever, it's secure. And then the badges, I love the simplicity of the badges for our younger students, but we've also found a tremendous need from, typing very login information, and for ex-ed students or people with some physical challenges. I kind of wish I had a badge because I can spell great, but I can't type very well. So those have been a tremendous time saver, and especially in remote learning when that teacher just can't stand in front of little Sally and say, okay, you type ABC123 at, they're able to just scan that badge, which is really amazing and helpful. It's very, very end user friendly for both the teacher and the student perspective. The teachers see this as a tool that is really geared with their needs in mind. And of course, the easier it is on the front end, the harder you all work on the back end. So kudos for that. For the students as well, as they log in, they go to that teacher page. It is clear, it's easy to navigate. It's not cluttered, it's not complicated. It's not like you have to go 8 different things. It's very simple. So that's a huge, and the maintenance of that from the teacher standpoint is very easy. We have more than 95% of our teachers using extensive use of Clever in this remote environment. And we've seen just a massive increase with the remote learning environment. We've definitely loved the messaging because it makes it easier, especially for younger users, than trying to communicate via email or through the SIS. It is simplified. It helps keep people engaged. It can be used for content, but also for social emotional learning and just check-in time. So it's a fabulous tool. The ability for teachers to organize things in one place. These are the apps I want to use. They organize as suits their students by day of the week or by content or by, different areas of topic areas and links to specific categories so they know where everything is. I think one of the best features I love about Clever is the consistency of all the schools using it. So from the home support network side, you see, I don't have to think about student A's doing this and student B and student C. They're all logged into Clever. They may use Clever differently, but each one logs into Clever, and that's where the parent needs to know. They just log into Clever and every one of their students is ready to go and participate in their remote learning environment.
Yeah, consistency is definitely key at a time like this. And thank you so much for sharing all of that. That's really great to hear. It's also great to hear that even though messaging is going to be new for some of those watching this webinar, that you've actually already been able to take advantage of that and that it's been a positive experience. So thank you for sharing that too. So thinking about all of that and all of the different features that you've been using, how do you see your district actually taking advantage of some of those features for this upcoming school year?
I think there's 3 main ones to tie into what Spencer was talking about. Messaging is just so widely used to communicate with students. And I think the thing that surprised me was hearing from the teachers to say, I don't just use it in my synchronous, it's the tool I use in that asynchronous time. The kids are in asynchronous in that application doing their work, or maybe they're in a quiet reading time. But if the student gets stuck, they can just message right away, hey, Mrs. Krababel, I can't find my reading book. I'm lost. What page am I on? I'm stuck on problem number 2. And that teacher's right there to respond to them, because it's not like when we're in the classroom and you can walk around and put up your hand and say, I'm stuck. So that was what really surprised me and was very pleasing to me. And I heard from so many teachers saying that's actually the greater benefit of the messaging, is that asynchronous time when you're not in that synchronous Zoom meeting or Teams meeting and your students get stuck or they have a question and just need to clarify. And instead of waiting a day to get that answer, they don't have to open something else and send you an email. They just go right there and everybody's already in. So I think that's one of the great ones. And again, go back to not only the student engagement, but the support for the students from the academic side, but also for the social emotional learning, the check-in. Hey, Sylvia, I noticed you seemed a little down today. How's everything going? And the teachers can just build that rapport with their students in a personal level without it being on camera. So I think that's a beautiful, beautiful feature. I've had a lot of teachers talk about how the students just find it fun that they can just message and they'll be like, hey, I finished my math. I'm so excited. I got it all done. And even something like that, and finding that reassurance. So I think that's one. The second is announcements. As I kind of mentioned, our administrators have really taken hold of this announcements as a very quick, easy, efficient way to communicate to their teachers, to their staff, or that students talk about an assembly. Maybe everybody needs to know about that. Maybe there's something that only the staff and teachers need to know. Hey, we're going to have this wing closed because we're cleaning the floors. There's no students in that wing. They wouldn't, but it's easy to get that message to everybody. And our staff do use this. All of our departments have Clever as well. So they use it for that announcement system. So we're seeing an increase in the use and how they're using those announcements. And the other thing is translations. We are a very diverse district. We have more than 50 languages and dialects spoken daily, and I believe there's over 100 total languages and dialects within the district. Our top 5 outside of English being Spanish, Arabic, Swahili, Somali, and Marshallese. So understandably, finding translators for things like Swahili and Marshallese and Somali aren't just floating around dime a dozen. So we're looking forward to that translation to help our diverse learners, but also help to communicate the families. We make all these great resources in English, and we have almost everything is translated into Spanish because we have such a high Spanish-speaking population. But to know that we will be able to connect to the family support network when they speak Somali and they don't read English, and they'll be able to understand, oh, this is how this is going to work. This is how my kid logs into Clever. This is what Clever is and how it's going to benefit me. So very, very excited about that in our English language acquisitions department. I was sharing this with my counterpart over there, and they were very excited as well to know that these are going to be expanded and be available as a great resource for diverse districts.
Yeah, definitely. Accessibility is something that is extremely, extremely important to us as well. And that there was a lot of thought that went into, how are we going to make sure that this is inclusive of all parents before we're actually asking our districts to move forward and trust us and use this. So I'm really, really happy that that's exciting for you too. So if you had to think about one thing that you're the most excited to do, what are you most excited to do next with Clever?
Well, I am excited about the translations because I do see the benefit of that. But I think more importantly is the enhancements to messaging. I think of some of the enhancements that I know we've relayed, saying like the secondary teachers where they could have as many as 15 different teacher pages based on the groups they're working with, being able to just say, I want to have the same message and not cut, paste, cut, paste, cut, paste for each teacher page, to be able to say, I want it to go click to these specific I wanted to go to these 10 teacher pages that I have for these courses that I'm teaching. So that's going to be a huge time saver and has been a big ask. I also think that using this as a communication tool in the synchronous learning, but also in the asynchronous, where a student needs help, a student needs support, a student maybe just needs you can do this, I'm here with you, even when we're not in the same physical place. So I think that is going to be one of the most significant ways that it's going to impact our students. We do not know when we're going back to face-to-face or some type of hybrid. So just knowing that this tool is available, so easy to use for both the teachers and the students, and that the feedback, we actually had a quote come in, a teacher actually went and asked the kids, what do you think about messaging? And they got all excited. I can message my teacher at any time. And of course, the kids aren't thinking I'm practicing my typing skills. And there's a lot that goes into that, but they know how to do it. And they're thrilled they're not held back. They can say, I'm stuck, or I need help, or I just want to say hi to my teacher. And they can do that. And it so builds that sense of community and belonging and connectedness that our students need and our teachers need. They miss their students being in front of them, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we know that the communications, those daily check-ins that you miss when you're actually in the classroom with students, are something that's been really hard. So it's really nice to hear that students are excited about messaging. Honestly, anything that gets students excited to participate in the learning day is great. So thank you so much for sharing all of that, Sylvia.
I was going to add one thing. I think as a trainer and as the project manager for training for the district, I'm super excited with where we've gone. I have to thank our district success manager, Katie Ginsburg, for being my cohort here all along. Things that we have done, we have trained more than 3,100 attendees at 35 sessions. Those are just the district conducted ones. That doesn't count the smaller site-based. We've created a Clever FAQ. We refer people to the Clever Academy. And most recently, we created a SharePoint site that we named Being Clever with Clever. So we're kind of excited about that, where we created, here is where you can link to all of this, including a subpage for our student and mentor teachers who have a different perspective and role. And that's been well received, and we're very excited about that. So we've done a lot of trainings. We've done it for teachers, summer school teachers, high school teachers, our teacher technology liaisons, attendance techs, office managers, back to school conference, or admin. We've covered the gamut, none of which would have been possible without the support of Clever and Katie Ginsburg in particular. But it's very exciting for me to think we have been able to use this tool in so many facets of our district.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. Katie is absolutely fantastic. So I'm sure she will very much appreciate that shout out. But thank you so much, Sylvia. Really, I know it was really helpful for me to hear those wonderful answers from you, and hopefully it was really helpful for our audience as well. We are so proud to partner with your district to support the digital learning experience, and we're looking forward to continuing that partnership for years to come. So thanks again, Sylvia.
Thank you so much, Lemma and Spencer.
Okay, so now that Tucson has kicked us off, that was absolutely phenomenal. So thank you again to Sylvia. We can't wait to hear how all of you plan to use Clever in 2021. Whether your district is already using Clever or you're considering rolling out Clever for the first time this year, we are here to support you. The next time you log into your Clever dashboard, you'll see an option to say yes to Clever for next school year. Some of you might have seen this already. When you say yes, we'll share a portal plan with step-by-step guidance for how to successfully roll out Clever over the next several months, so it doesn't have to happen all at once when back to school begins for next school year. We'll also send you reminders for key dates like semester rollovers, provide access to educational trainings and webinar all year long, just like our popular Login Analyst webinar in November. And we'll provide instructional resources for your extended team like curriculum leaders, school tech leads, and of course, teachers. The sooner you say yes to Clever, the sooner we can help you get set up so that all Clever districts can go back to school with confidence. Because just like you, in our ideal world, students can start using technology seamlessly on the very first day of school. So for all our Clever admins watching this webinar, please share your plans the next time you log into Clever. The form is already live and available in your dashboard. And last but not least, stay tuned because we'll have some exciting announcements coming in the next few months. We are so grateful to you all for watching our webinar and joining us in unlocking new ways for all students to learn. We know there are many questions about what school will look like in the next few weeks, let alone the next school year, but no matter what challenges arise, we want you to know that Clever is here for you every step of the way. So thank you so much for the time that you spent with us, the feedback that you always provide to make Clever better for all districts, and for all that you have done and are continuing to do to provide a quality educational experience for students throughout this uniquely challenging school year. You are truly the superheroes. We really love working with you and we want to stay connected with you. So if you were especially excited about anything at all from this presentation, please tweet about it at Clever with the hashtag #ReadyWithClever. And of course, start your journey to a seamless back to school 2021 by saying yes to Clever in your dashboard. We cannot wait to see what you accomplish with all of these new tools.